What's going on, everybody? How are you? Today I want to talk about something that popped in my head yesterday. Remember yesterday was my birthday, and I was talking to my sister. My sister called me. It was her birthday and all that good stuff, and we was having a conversation, just talking, chewing the fat, just chewing the cud and whatnot. And we got to the subject of how to deal with people who don't really just want to get right. What simply means, she was telling me how some people that she knew were just you know how when there are people who are just, no matter how much you try to tell them right, they still just it's like they just don't get, like they want to do wrong even though what you're telling them is the right thing, and they just do it anyway, and you get frustrated, irritated about it. And I was telling her the reason why, in my opinion, the reason why some people just can't be reached, no matter how hard you try, is because you don't speak their language. And what do I mean by that? If I want, let's say if my language is English, which it is, my first language is English, right? And I come across someone who speaks Spanish. They don't speak English, they only speak Spanish, right? But I want them to understand me, right? I speak English, they speak Spanish, but I want them to understand me, right? If I come up to that person and I just start speaking English right off the bat, not taking into account that they do not speak English, but I do, if I go to and start speaking English, we're going to have a conflict, a language barrier, right? If I want that person to understand me and we don't speak the same language, the one thing that I should not do is assume that we speak the same language. I'm not going to go to that person who doesn't speak English and start speaking English and then get upset that they don't understand me. Of course, we don't understand each other. There's a language barrier. We don't understand each other. That is also true when it comes to mentality. Even with a person's mentality, there is also a language barrier when it comes to mentality. Like, let's say you have, people say men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Everybody in the famous book, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus, right? It was talking about the mental language barriers between men and women. Why we don't understand each other, why we speak a different language and all that stuff. And from my understanding, the reason why men and women have a hard time understanding each other is because we don't take the time to learn another person's language. And what I mean by that, when people say, when these magazines say, 10 ways to please your man, 10 ways to please a man. The problem with that statement is 10 ways to please a man, as if all men are the same. We are not. The same way how you say the 5 ways to a woman's heart, as if all women are the same, and they are not. What it should say is 10 ways to please your woman or your man, meaning you need to understand the language of your significant other or of your person that you know, even with friends. If it is true that everyone is different, that means everyone thinks the same, everyone speaks the same, everyone interprets information the same way, and also everyone reacts to information differently. Everyone does not react to the same information the same way. A parent, a mother or a father can have 2 children. One child, you can tell that child, sit down, and they will do it. The other child, you can tell, please settle down. And they will do it. The result is the same, but the interaction is different. Because as a parent, you must know that if every child is different, then I must communicate with the child different than the other child. That means that as a parent, you are learning to speak the language of your child. The same thing comes when it comes to a significant other, when it comes to just a friendship. You must learn to speak the language of the other person in order for you to reach them. But the first thing you must do, this is what I told her. I said, the first thing you must do, if you are getting frustrated with telling someone information and they're not receiving it as you want them to, you need to also understand your own language. Do you know your own language? That's the crazy that people say, well, wait a minute. Yeah, I should know my language. It's me. That's the thing. Even though you have been who you are all your life, that does not mean that you know yourself. Do you know your own language? Meaning, do you know how you receive information? Do you know how your brain works? Because you may have a lot of conflict in your mind when it comes to information, mainly because you don't know how your own brain works. And if you don't know how your own brain works, then you don't know how to position yourself when it comes to people or environments that can get the best out of you. So do you know your own language? And before you can master someone else's language, you must first learn your own. Like, if my first language is English, I can't tell somebody about the rules of another language if I can't even master my own language. Can you master your own mental language? Are you fluent in your own mental language? To the point where do you know your language so well that you can teach someone else your language? That's another thing. Once you become fluent in your own language, you should be able to teach someone else how to speak your language. So when you two communicate with each other, there's no misunderstanding. They know how to speak to you to get the best out of you, and you know how to speak to them to get the best out of them, because there's no more language barrier. So do you know your own language? Can you speak your own language? Do you know your mental language? Think about that. Think about that very deeply. Think about all of the times an adult or someone that you know you're close to has told you some information, and the way they presented the information, you responded well to it. Like, think about all the times you were in class. You know, with certain teachers that they told you information, you get it immediately. Then with other teachers that when they say the same information, you don't get it. Same information, the same information. But when one teacher spoke it, you got it. But the other teacher spoke it, you didn't get it. Same thing. Then ask yourself the question: all of the times that someone has given me information and I received it positively, even if I'm wrong. Like, what if someone tells you that you're wrong, but you still receive it positively? What was it about the message? What was it about the packaging of the message that got to you? But when someone else said the same thing, you don't hear it. You don't understand it. What was it about that? So take that into consideration when talking about your own mental language. All right? Hope you enjoyed this. Catch you later. Peace.